Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the incredible world of Marine One, the legendary helicopter that has safeguarded U.S. presidents for decades. Its reputation for security is unmatched. Over the past 10 years, there have been 47 enemy attempts to bring it down, all ending in complete failure. With a staggering price tag of $80 million, this isn't just a helicopter, it's an airborne fortress. Equipped with missile jamming systems, decoy flares, bulletproof windows, and even the ability to coordinate nuclear responses mid-flight, Marine One is engineered to survive the worst. But the real question remains, can it withstand an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, attack? And why does the Pentagon keep its stealth radar mode a closely guarded secret? Let's uncover the secrets of this iron bird. Few realize that the legacy of the U.S. presidential helicopter fleet dates back to the dawn of the atomic age. In 1946, during nuclear tests at Bikini Atoll, General Roy Geiger made a chilling realization: traditional ship-based landings were now dangerously outdated. The sheer concentration of troops, ships, and equipment in one area made them perfect targets for nuclear strikes. This revelation led to the formation of Marine Helicopter Squadron 1, HMX-1, on December 1, 1947, under the leadership of Colonel Edward C. Dyer. Stationed at Quantico Airfield, Virginia, HMX-1 was strategically positioned near Sikorsky and Piasecki helicopter plants in Connecticut, as well as Marine Corps officer training schools. The squadron initially operated with two early helicopter models, the Sikorsky HO-3S-1 and the Piasecki HRP-1 Flying Banana, which had an unusual curved fuselage. But by modern standards, these helicopters were primitive, lacking cabin heating and carrying just 3 soldiers at a time. Despite their limitations, HMX-1 made history in May 1947. 5 helicopters launched from the USS Palau aircraft carrier, ferrying 66 Marines to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Although multiple trips were required due to capacity constraints, this test proved that helicopters were the future of military mobility. By 1948, the Marine Corps published its first manual on helicopter warfare, Amphibious Operations, Employment of Helicopters, which introduced the revolutionary tactic of vertical envelopment. The Korean War in 1950 put this concept to the test. During the Battle of the Pusan Perimeter, HMX-1 helicopters became critical assets, assisting in battlefield reconnaissance, troop coordination, medical evacuations, and pilot rescues. In the brutal Chosin Reservoir campaign, they played a pivotal role in keeping Marine Corps units connected. This success laid the foundation for HMR-161, the first Marine Corps helicopter transport squadron, which trained a new generation of combat pilots. A defining moment in HMX-1's history came on September 7, 1957, when the squadron was tasked with an urgent mission, transporting President Dwight D. Eisenhower from Newport, Rhode Island, to Washington, D.C. during the Little Rock Crisis. Traditional transportation methods would have taken over 2 hours, but Marine One cut that time dramatically. When the emergency arose, Colonel Virgil D. Olson, a legendary Marine One pilot, received a call. Within minutes, he and his crew were airborne, reaching Naval War College in record time. The 6-minute flight across Narragansett Bay to Air Force One was more than just a convenience. It was a game-changer. From that moment, helicopters became a permanent part of presidential transport. Presidential aides soon proposed constructing a helipad on the White House's South Lawn, securing Marine One's place in American history. Fast forward to May 2014, the U.S. Navy inked a $1.24 billion contract with Sikorsky Aircraft to develop 6 new-generation presidential helicopters. These state-of-the-art choppers are based on the Sikorsky S-92 model, a powerhouse of technology and security. By 2023, a fleet of 21 new Marine One helicopters was set to replace the aging models, ensuring that future presidents continue to travel with the highest level of security, speed, and sophistication. Marine One has evolved from a simple military transport to one of the most sophisticated defensive aircraft in existence. But with modern threats like cyber warfare, EMP attacks, and advanced missile systems, its ability to adapt remains crucial. Could Marine One truly withstand an EMP attack? And why is its stealth radar technology classified? One thing's for certain, this flying fortress isn't just about transporting a president. It's about protecting the leader of the free world at all costs. In 2002, the U.S. Department of Defense set out to develop a new VIP presidential helicopter through the VXX program. This ambitious project led to the creation of the VH-71 helicopter, but by 2009, the program was cancelled due to skyrocketing costs and intense controversy. Despite its promise, the project's budget swelled from an initial $6.1 billion for 28 helicopters to an eye-watering $13 billion, making each aircraft more expensive than Air Force One itself. This costly lesson reshaped the way future presidential helicopters were designed and developed. Colonel Olson's lasting impact. Presidential helicopter operations have long been a blend of tradition and technological advancement. Colonel Olson was a trailblazer, not only piloting the first presidential helicopter flight but also revolutionizing the entire operation. He introduced key innovations, including the now iconic white paint scheme, earning Marine One helicopters the nickname White Top. When the White House gardener voiced concerns about rotor wash damaging the landscaping, Olson devised the white landing circle still used today, a small but crucial touch of ingenuity. The evolution of Marine One from the VH-34 Choctaw in 1957 to the VH-3A Sea King in 1962 and later the VH-3D Sea King in the late 1970s, Marine One has continuously evolved, prioritizing safety, comfort, and cutting-edge technology. By 1987, the VH-60N White Hawk joined the fleet, delivering enhanced agility and superior performance, especially for international missions. What many people don't know is that until 1976, the U.S. Army shared presidential transport duties with the Marine Corps, using the call sign Army One. However, thanks to the outstanding performance of HMX-1, President Gerald Ford granted the Marines sole responsibility for presidential transport, a defining moment in the history of Marine One. The first all-female crew. A historic milestone occurred on July 16, 2009, when Major Jennifer Greaves led the first all-female Marine One crew. This groundbreaking flight was a testament to the evolving diversity of HMX-1, proving that the once all-male team had shattered barriers and embraced a new era of professionalism and inclusivity. Witness to history. Marine One has played a crucial role in some of the most defining moments in U.S. history. From evacuating President Richard Nixon after his resignation to transporting presidents to secure locations during national crises, this aircraft has been a silent witness to history. Even in everyday moments, it has provided unparalleled convenience, such as when Ronald Reagan used it to bypass Washington's traffic and visit Nancy Reagan in the hospital. With a squadron of over 800 personnel, Marine One operations are based at MTF Quantico, Virginia, with an additional site at the Naval Support Facility Anacostia in Washington, D.C. It is most frequently seen on the south lawn of the White House or at Andrews Air Force Base, where it sometimes connects with Air Force One for long-distance travel. Speed, security, and resilience. Standing 16.7 feet tall and stretching 79 feet long, Marine One is built for performance. It reaches speeds of over 150 miles per hour and can still fly even if one of its 3 engines fails. Advanced security features include armor plating, missile defense systems, and early warning technology, ensuring the safety of the president at all times. Inside, it offers the comfort and operational efficiency of the Oval Office, allowing the president to govern the nation while in flight. A new era with the VH-22A Patriot. As Marine One continues to evolve, 2024 marks the introduction of the VH-92A Patriot, a next-generation aircraft designed to push the boundaries of speed, range, and security. This helicopter cements Marine One's reputation as a pioneer in presidential air travel, ensuring that the president can respond to emergencies anywhere in the world. However, modernization has not always been smooth. The VH-71 Kestrel project, launched in 2005 to replace aging helicopters, encountered immense challenges. Despite ambitious plans, the program's budget ballooned, leading to its cancellation in 2009. With no new aircraft ready, the Marine Corps had to keep the existing fleet operational, an extraordinary feat that required engineers to source replacement parts from museum exhibits and even 3D print components that were no longer manufactured. This ingenuity underscored the unwavering spirit of the Marine One team. A smarter approach to presidential aircraft. The failure of the VH-71 program led to a major shift in strategy. Instead of building a completely new design, the military chose to modify a proven commercial aircraft, the Sikorsky S-92. This approach allowed developers to focus on mission-specific enhancements rather than fixing fundamental design flaws. In 2014, a contract was awarded to produce 21 helicopters, all at a significantly lower cost than the VH-71. The VH-92A isn't just larger, it's a leap forward in presidential air travel. With a cabin that's 30% more spacious than previous models, it provides room for additional security personnel and essential equipment. But space isn't its only advantage. Its advanced fly-by-wire control system enhances maneuverability, making it easier to operate in extreme conditions. Designed with adaptability in mind, the VH-92A features a modular structure, allowing for seamless upgrades over time to stay ahead of emerging threats. Before any V-92A carries the president, it endures rigorous testing. These helicopters are subjected to artificial sandstorms, simulated electromagnetic pulses, and even mock lightning strikes to ensure their resilience. One of the most unique requirements is the ability to land on the White House lawn without damaging the historic grounds, a standard upheld since the time of Colonel Virgil Olson. In August 2024, the VH-92A made its first official presidential flight, marking a new era for Marine One. The full modernization of the fleet is set to be completed by 2025, fully replacing the VH-3D and VH-60N helicopters that have served faithfully for decades. But these helicopters are more than just transportation. They function as mobile command centers, equipped to counter cyber attacks, electronic warfare, and evolving threats in an increasingly complex world. One of the most fascinating tactics used in presidential protection is known as the presidential shell game. Whenever Marine One takes off, multiple identical helicopters fly in formation, constantly switching positions to confuse potential threats. Even advanced surveillance systems struggle to identify which aircraft is carrying the president. Marine One is not just defined by technology but also by the elite team behind it. More than 800 highly trained Marines operate and maintain the fleet, each holding Yankee White clearance, one of the most stringent security certifications. Even distant relatives' suspicious behavior could disqualify a candidate from serving. Every Marine undergoes rigorous background checks, periodic polygraph tests, and continuous security monitoring to ensure the highest level of trust and reliability. The squadron operates from 3 primary locations: Marine Corps Air Facility Quantico, Joint Base Anacostia Bolling in Washington, D.C., and Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. Each facility is fortified with reinforced bunkers, independent power supplies, and the ability to remain operational even during national emergencies. While many of Marine One's defensive capabilities remain classified, some details have been revealed. Advanced electronic warfare systems can jam enemy radar and disrupt missile guidance, while infrared countermeasures neutralize heat-seeking missiles. Chaff dispensers release metal fragments to divert radar-guided missiles, adding an extra layer of defense. Even the maintenance process is tightly controlled. Every single component installed must have a fully documented history from manufacturing to installation. Fuel undergoes rigorous inspection before each flight, a protocol implemented after a contaminated fuel incident in the 1970s nearly led to an emergency. With threats constantly evolving, the question remains, can Marine One stay ahead of future dangers? These helicopters represent not just security but the unwavering commitment to protecting the leader of the free world. What are your thoughts on the role of Marine One in presidential safety? When the president travels, Marine One doesn't just take off, it is carefully transported aboard massive military cargo planes like the C-17 Globemaster III or the C-5 Galaxy. The C-17, developed by McDonnell Douglas, now part of Boeing, has been a cornerstone of the U.S. Air Force's strategic airlift capabilities since the early 1990s. Designed to transport troops, cargo, and military equipment, It plays a critical role in ensuring Marine One is ready wherever the president needs it. The C-17 Globemaster III is a powerhouse of military air transport, capable of carrying an astonishing 85 tons of cargo. Whether it's 102 paratroopers, 134 soldiers, or a combination of 36 patients and 54 emergency cases, this aircraft is built for versatility. Its massive cargo bay can also transport an M1 Abrams main battle tank, 3 Stryker armored vehicles, 6 M17 light armored vehicles, or even 2 helicopters, making it an essential asset for U.S. military logistics. Thanks to its impressive carrying capacity, the C-17 plays a crucial role in supporting U.S. presidential trips. About 10 days before a presidential visit, it deploys ahead of Air Force One, transporting security vehicles, support equipment, and other vital assets to the destination. This includes the president's armored limousine, famously known as the Beast. To enhance security, 2 identical limousines are always deployed, with one serving as a decoy. The C-17 also carries the armored Chevrolet Suburban SUVs used by Secret Service agents to escort the president's motorcade. Depending on the nature of the visit, the security convoy can include anywhere from 20 to 30 vehicles. Measuring 174 feet in length, with a wingspan of 169 feet and a height of 52 feet, the C-17 is an engineering marvel. It weighs 282,000 pounds when empty and has a maximum takeoff weight of 586,000 pounds. To get airborne, it requires a minimum runway length of 7,500 feet. The aircraft is powered by 4 Pratt & Whitney PW2000 jet engines, each delivering 44,400 pounds of thrust, allowing it to cruise at 514 miles per hour. On internal fuel, it has an operational range of 2,785 miles, but with aerial refueling, that extends to an impressive 6,200 miles. According to Boeing, the U.S. Air Force operates around 223 C-17s across 12 domestic and international bases. Alongside the C-130 and the heavy-lift C-5M Galaxy, the C-17 ensures the Air Force maintains its global strategic airlift capabilities. These aircraft don't just transport helicopters, they carry spare parts, maintenance equipment, and technical support teams, all within highly secured hangars to prevent external scrutiny. Marine One also benefits from advanced logistical and security measures. Around Washington, D.C., an automated weather monitoring network provides real-time data to ensure safe landings, especially in densely populated areas like the White House. The helicopter maintains continuous communication with both military and civilian networks, ensuring the president remains in control even during emergencies. Since its inception, no Marine One aircraft has ever suffered an accident or been successfully attacked. Crew members regularly train in high-security facilities, simulating scenarios such as mechanical failures or electromagnetic pulse attacks to prepare for any contingency. Looking to the future, the V-22 Osprey is emerging as a potential evolution of Marine One's capabilities. Unlike traditional helicopters, the Osprey is a hybrid tilt-rotor aircraft that combines the vertical takeoff and landing abilities of a helicopter with the speed and range of a fixed-wing plane. Developed as a replacement for the aging CH-46E Sea Knight and CH-53D Sea Stallion helicopters, the V-22 can fly twice as fast, 6 times farther, and carry 3 times the payload of its predecessors. What sets the Osprey apart is its ability to switch between flight modes. By tilting its rotors vertically, it takes off and lands like a helicopter. Once airborne, the rotors shift forward, transforming the aircraft into a high-speed fixed-wing plane. This unique capability allows it to operate in tight spaces while achieving speeds of up to 316 miles per hour and a range of over 1,000 miles, far beyond the reach of conventional helicopters. Originally developed in the 1980s, the V-22 underwent more than 2 decades of testing before officially entering service with the U.S. Marine Corps in 2007. Since then, the U.S. Air Force and Navy have also integrated their own variants, the CV-22B and CMV-22B, into their fleets. Even Japan's self-defense forces have adopted the Osprey, further proving its value. The V-22 plays a critical role in presidential missions, ensuring security teams, equipment, and support personnel can be transported to remote or high-risk locations with speed and efficiency. Its ability to land in confined spaces is a major advantage, particularly in emergency situations requiring rapid response. Powered by two Rolls-Royce AE1107C engines, each producing 6,150 shaft horsepower, the Osprey is a testament to how innovation continues to shape the future of presidential and military aviation. The V-22 Osprey boasts an impressive range of 1,100 nautical miles, but when equipped with auxiliary fuel tanks, it can extend that range to an astonishing 2,100 nautical miles. With its ability to refuel midair, the Osprey is technically capable of remaining airborne indefinitely. Designed primarily for troop and equipment transport rather than direct combat, it carries a single .50 caliber machine gun for defense. Used worldwide, the Osprey features corrosion-resistant coatings to withstand saltwater and harsh environmental conditions. Its unique design includes two massive rotors, each with 3 blades spinning in opposite directions, eliminating the need for a tail rotor to maintain stability. At the heart of its functionality is a sophisticated pivot mechanism within its wing structure, allowing the engines to tilt between helicopter and airplane modes. This seamless transition happens in just 12 seconds, providing unparalleled flexibility in various mission scenarios. Each rotor, measuring 38 feet in length, is powered by Allison A1107C turboshaft engines, each generating over 6,000 horsepower. In a critical situation, if one engine fails, the Osprey can continue operating using the remaining engine, thanks to a drive shaft that distributes power to both rotors. Equipped with cutting-edge avionics, the Osprey features a digital cockpit with system status displays, maps, and a triple redundant flight control system, ensuring safety and precision. However, despite its advantages, it does face challenges, most notably the immense heat from its engines, which has been known to damage aircraft carrier decks. To address this, the U.S. Navy has tested heat-resistant coatings and implemented portable heat shields. From Iraq and Afghanistan to Libya, the V-22 Osprey has consistently proven its value in critical military operations. Its combination of speed, extended range, and unmatched versatility has redefined military logistics and opened new frontiers for the future of aviation. Meanwhile, in naval warfare, the USS Gerald R. Ford stands as the most advanced aircraft carrier ever constructed, embodying a monumental leap forward for the U.S. Navy. More than just a warship, this floating city integrates some of the most groundbreaking technological advancements humanity has ever seen. Its arrival signals a new era of military development, reinforcing America's position as the dominant force on the seas. However, with increasing geopolitical tensions, especially in the Pacific, the question remains: can this supercarrier serve as an impenetrable shield against rising threats? Launched in 2017, the USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN-78, holds the title of the largest and most powerful warship ever built. As the latest addition to the U.S. Navy's fleet, it continues a century-old tradition of aircraft carriers, stretching back to the USS Langley in 1922. Measuring a staggering 1,092 feet, equivalent to 3 football fields, it dwarfs its predecessors. The development of the Ford-class carriers began under the CVN-21 program in 2005, when Northrop Grumman produced the ship's first 33,000-pound steel plate. The complex construction process took place at Newport News Shipbuilding in Virginia, the only U.S. shipyard capable of producing nuclear-powered carriers. Bringing this supercarrier to life required the efforts of over 5,000 shipbuilders, along with an enormous supply of 200,000 gallons of paint, enough to repaint the White House 350 times. The USS Gerald R. Ford accommodates more than 1,000 Navy sailors, alongside hundreds of officials and workers from naval contractors and maritime command systems. During a visit to the carrier, President Donald Trump called it a 100,000-ton message to the world, underscoring U.S. military strength. However, building such a technological marvel comes at a significant cost. Initially estimated at $2.7 billion in 2005, construction expenses quickly ballooned to $12.8 billion, with an additional $4.7 billion allocated for research and development, bringing the total to an eye-watering $17.5 billion. By 2024, the Ford-class program is projected to reach approximately $40 billion, with 5 carriers currently in production out of a planned fleet of 10. Whether this cost will remain stable or continue to rise remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. The USS Gerald R. Ford represents an unprecedented investment in naval dominance. What gives the USS Gerald R. Ford its unprecedented power? The answer lies at its core: the revolutionary A-1B nuclear reactor, a marvel of cutting-edge technology. Designed for maximum efficiency, this compact yet powerful reactor outperforms its predecessor, the A-4W reactor found on Nimitz-class carriers. Each Gerald R. Ford-class carrier is powered by 2 A-1B reactors, delivering at least 25% more power than the A-4W's 550 megawatts. Notably, the thermal energy capacity dedicated to power generation has tripled, significantly enhancing the ship's ability to support advanced weapons and technology systems. The energy system aboard the Gerald R. Ford marks a major leap forward. Steam from the reactors is converted into electricity through 4 main turbine generators, MTGs, supplying power to the entire ship. This advanced system ensures that the carrier can efficiently operate high-tech equipment while maintaining its strategic edge on the battlefield. At the heart of innovation is the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, EMALS, a game-changer in naval aviation. Replacing the bulky and outdated steam-powered catapult system, EMALS operates using asynchronous linear motors, offering a smoother, more controlled acceleration for aircraft. This reduces stress on pilots and airframes, allowing for more frequent and safer takeoffs. Unlike traditional steam-powered systems, EMALS eliminates the need for massive steam storage, freeing up critical space below deck. The impact is profound. When paired with the Advanced Arresting Gear, AAG, the number of daily aircraft missions increases by an astonishing 25%. This isn't just an improvement in efficiency, it's a battlefield advantage, ensuring that naval aviation forces can operate at peak effectiveness. Another groundbreaking feature is the Advanced Weapons Elevators, AWE, a critical innovation designed to move munitions from storage to aircraft at record speeds. These elevators drastically reduce rearming time, transforming a process that once took hours into mere minutes. By minimizing bottlenecks on the flight deck and hangar areas, the USS Gerald R. Ford can maintain a high-tempo combat readiness like never before. Beyond its aviation capabilities, the USS Gerald R. Ford serves as a testing ground for the most advanced radar and automated defense technologies. It features the dual-band radar, DBR, originally developed for the Zumwalt-class destroyer. Despite its high cost, the system was retained due to its unparalleled surveillance and defensive capabilities. Interestingly, subsequent Ford-class carriers, like the USS John F. Kennedy, have opted for the Enterprise Air Surveillance Radar, ASR, a system that costs $180 million less while maintaining high performance. In June 2021, the U.S. Navy conducted a shock trial to test the resilience of the USS Gerald R. Ford, detonating 40,000 pounds of TNT underwater near the carrier. The result? The ship required only 20% of the anticipated repairs, proving its exceptional design and durability. Captain Paul Lanzillotta of CVN-78 confirmed that there were no operational issues following the explosion. Helicopters landed and took off within minutes, and all onboard equipment, vehicles, and weapons remained fully functional. However, the powerful blast generated a 3.9 magnitude tremor, drawing a complaint from the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS. While these tests showcased the carrier's strength, they also raised an important question: can the USS Gerald R. Ford truly be considered indestructible? Malfunctions and unexpected challenges. Despite its cutting-edge technology, the USS Gerald R. Ford has faced technical setbacks. Reports suggest that during operations off the U.S. East Coast, the carrier experienced rudder system malfunctions while being monitored by a Russian vessel. A U.S. Fleet Forces Command spokesperson acknowledged that the USS Cole was actively tracking the Viktor Leonov, a Russian intelligence ship. While the Navy confirmed that the Ford returned to port for maintenance, officials did not explicitly verify claims that the ship was shadowed for 2 days. On May 8, 2023, Bloomberg reported another issue, an at-sea malfunction that forced the USS Gerald R. Ford to return to port. This marked the second major technical problem in less than a year. The Naval Sea Systems Command later clarified that the issue stemmed from a manufacturing defect in the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System (EMALS), not an operator error. However, these concerns were notably absent from recent congressional budget hearings, and lawmakers did not press for further details. With billions invested in this carrier, the question remains, is the USS Gerald R. Ford truly worth its massive price tag? The carrier's first deployment and global impact. The USS Gerald R. Ford officially embarked on its first operational deployment to Europe, departing from Norfolk, Virginia. Before setting sail, it participated in a series of short tactical exercises in the Atlantic alongside NATO allies, testing its full range of capabilities. In May 2023, the carrier made a historic stop in Oslo, Norway, conducting key NATO exercises and welcoming Norway's Crown Prince aboard. From there, it navigated through the Arctic, making visits to Croatia and Italy before nearing the end of its deployment. However, global tensions shifted its course. Following Hamas's attack on Israel, the USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group, along with the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, CVN-69, was swiftly deployed to the Mediterranean. This move sent a clear message: the U.S. Navy stands ready to counter any emerging threats. In January 2024, after an extraordinary 239 days at sea, the USS Gerald R. Ford returned home, having traveled over 48,200 nautical miles, completed 43 resupply missions, and conducted an impressive 10,396 combat sorties. However, the new year brought an unexpected announcement. The Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group would extend its deployment in the eastern Mediterranean, dashing hopes of holiday reunions for hundreds of sailors' families. The decision, announced by Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, marked the third extension of the carrier's mission, underscoring the escalating regional tensions. Originally deployed in May 2023 to replace the George H.W. Bush Carrier Strike Group, the USS Ford initially focused on deterring threats related to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. However, its role quickly expanded following Hamas's attacks on Israel on October 7, reinforcing U.S. naval presence in the region. As the USS Gerald R. Ford continues its strategic operations, China has been making bold moves of its own. In the Taklamakan Desert, satellite images from Planet Labs reveal that China has constructed a full-scale model of the USS Ford, complete with detailed runways, an island command structure, and rail systems simulating the ship's movement. Completed by late 2023, this mock target suggests an intense focus on countering U.S. carrier capabilities. Adding to U.S. concerns is China's DF-26 missile, nicknamed the Guam Killer, which boasts a staggering range of 1,860 miles. But the real game-changer is the DF-21D, a hypersonic anti-ship ballistic missile capable of reaching speeds of Mach 10. Designed specifically to target enemy aircraft carriers, this weapon could pose a direct threat to U.S. naval dominance, particularly in highly contested regions like the South China Sea. One of China's most formidable weapons, the DF-21D, is a medium-range ballistic missile with a range of 310 to 1,340 miles and a payload capacity of 1,323 pounds. What makes it particularly alarming is its nuclear capability, with warhead yields of 250 to 500 kilotons, making it several times more powerful than the atomic bombs of World War II. Despite this, Vice Admiral Carl Thomas, commander of the U.S. 7th Fleet, dismissed concerns that the missile would alter U.S. naval strategy in the Pacific, stating, "But as military technology evolves, the question arises, can major powers develop a next-generation fighter jet with a 1,240-mile range, stealth capabilities, and survivability in contested airspace?" When launched, the DF-21D enters low orbit before releasing a hypersonic glide vehicle, creating a no-go zone of 12,200 miles around its launch site. This raises the ultimate challenge. Can the USS Gerald R. Ford withstand such a destructive threat? While the U.S. Navy projects power at sea, its adversaries are actively developing new technologies that could challenge naval warfare as we know it. China recently launched its largest aircraft carrier, the Fujian, Type 003, measuring 1,037 feet long with a displacement of 80,000 tons. Notably, the Fujian is equipped with an electromagnetic aircraft launch system (EMALS), a technology previously exclusive to the USS Gerald R. Ford. However, unlike the nuclear-powered U.S. supercarriers, the Fujian relies on conventional fuel, presenting a major logistical challenge. Could this be a strategic weakness that adversaries might exploit? Despite its limitations, the Fujian brings notable advantages. It is capable of deploying the KJ-600 early warning aircraft, similar to the U.S. Navy's E-2D Hawkeye, allowing China to monitor battlefields hundreds of miles away. This development significantly expands the People's Liberation Army Navy plan operational range, reinforcing its power projection beyond China's borders. In October 2024, China made headlines by deploying two operational aircraft carriers, the Liaoning, Type 001, and Shandong, Type 002, in a strategic dual-carrier fleet exercise at sea. Accompanied by powerful escort groups, this display showcased Beijing's growing military strength and ambition. Notably, the exercise featured carrier-based air groups, demonstrating China's advancing capabilities in naval aviation. Meanwhile, the Fujian, Type 003, China's newest and most advanced aircraft carrier, has been undergoing extensive sea trials. The first major trial took place on May 1, 2024, marking a key milestone in China's naval strategy. By the end of the year, these tests focused on helping the crew familiarize themselves with the ship's advanced systems, including aircraft operations, electronics, and weaponry. With a maximum displacement of 85,000 tons, the Fujian significantly surpasses the 65,000-ton capacity of the Liaoning and Shandong. Its design closely resembles American carriers, particularly with the inclusion of 3 electromagnetic catapults, a cutting-edge technology that allows for quicker and more efficient aircraft deployment. However, unlike the nuclear-powered supercarriers of the U.S. Navy, the Fujian still relies on conventional fuel, raising concerns about its operational range and endurance. Despite its advancements, the Fujian's aircraft capacity remains limited compared to its U.S. counterpart. It can carry approximately 40 fighter jets and 12 helicopters, including the Shenyang J-15, FC-31, and KJ-600. In contrast, the USS Gerald R. Ford is expected to accommodate up to 100 fighter jets in the future, highlighting a clear gap in capabilities. Even if the People's Liberation Army Navy expands its fleet to 6 aircraft carriers by 2030, it would still lag behind the U.S. Navy, which currently operates 47 aircraft carriers, controlling nearly 1/5 of the world's total. While China continues to modernize its naval forces, the U.S. Navy is pushing forward with its next generation of supercarriers. The Gerald R. Ford-class expansion includes the CVN-79 USS John F. Kennedy, CVN-80 USS Enterprise, CVN-81 USS Doris Miller, and the yet-to-be-named CVN-82, all set to enter service between 2025 and 2036. However, the 2025 U.S. defense budget has stirred debate by delaying the procurement of CVN-82 from 2028 to 2030, with preliminary funding postponed to 2027. This has raised concerns about whether such delays could weaken the U.S. Navy's ability to maintain strategic superiority in an increasingly competitive maritime landscape. The latest defense budget allocates $2.14 billion for the Gerald R. Ford-class carriers, including $236 million for CVN-79, $1.18 billion for CVN-80, and $721 million for CVN-81. However, the absence of funding for CVN-82 has led to widespread concern, as this carrier is expected to replace aging Nimitz-class ships and reinforce U.S. naval dominance. Meanwhile, as the U.S. faces production setbacks, China continues accelerating its military expansion. The question remains, could these delays give strategic competitors an opportunity to close the gap? With the integration of F-35 fighter jets, advanced combat drones, and the latest stealth aircraft, the U.S. Navy is transforming each carrier into a formidable floating airbase. But as hypersonic missiles, stealth submarines, and other emerging technologies advance, some experts argue that aircraft carriers may become less effective in future warfare. Others maintain that they remain essential for power projection and global influence. Do you think aircraft carriers are still the backbone of naval power, or are new technologies shifting the balance of military strategy? And beyond naval warfare, what are your thoughts on the role of the Osprey and Marine One in protecting the President of the United States? Could tilt-rotor technology shape the future of military aviation? Share your opinions in the comments below.